Hey, if you're a government employee, listen up, because your paycheck is getting a big update. A new executive order, number 64, just dropped, and it's changing the whole salary schedule. So in this breakdown, we're going to get right into what this means for your wallet.
And here it is, the source document itself. We're not talking about some rumor or a draft. This is the real deal. Executive Order 64, signed and official. This is the piece of paper that's kicking everything into gear for the new government salaries.
So yeah, if you're working in government, this explainer is 100% for you. Those numbers on your payslip, they're about to look different, and we're going to walk through exactly how, when, and most importantly, by how much. All right, before we jump into the numbers, let's back up a little. We've got to ask the big question. Why now? Why is this happening in the first place? Understanding the why really helps make sense of all the changes. And it's a totally fair question, right? I mean, the last big salary update was back in 2019, so what's changed? Why is now the time for another big adjustment? Well, the order itself points to four main reasons. First and foremost, it's all about inflation. Making sure your salary can actually keep up with rising prices. They literally call it countering the erosion of purchasing power. Second, it's about competition. The government wants to make its paychecks look a lot more attractive compared to the private sector. And that's not just about money. It's about getting and keeping talented people. The whole idea is to have a super competent and motivated team, which, leads to better public services for all of us.
Okay, so that's the why. Now let's talk about the who. This is the part where you find out if you're on the list.
And let me tell you, the list is long. We're talking about pretty much all civilian government workers. Doesn't matter which branch, executive, legislative, judicial, it's all of them. Even folks in constitutional commissions, GOCCs, and all the way down to the local government units, the LGUs. And it doesn't matter if you're regular, casual, appointive, or even an elected official. Basically, if the government signs your paycheck, this is probably for you.
But there's always a but, right? The order is super clear about who's not included. So if you're working on a job order, a contract of service, or as a consultant, basically if you don't have that direct employer-employee relationship, then this salary increase won't apply to you. That's a really important detail to keep in mind. All right, let's get to the main event, the part everyone's been waiting for, the numbers. How much is your salary actually going to change? Well, the first thing you need to know is that it's not all happening at once. Instead, this whole thing is being rolled out in 4 steps, or tranches, as the order calls them. Think of it as a 4-year plan. The first bump happens in 2024, then you get another one in 2025, another in 2026, until we hit the final amount in 2027.
And here's some really good news about that first increase. It's retroactive. Yep, the order says it's effective as of January 1st, 2024. So what does that mean? It means you're going to get some back pay to cover the difference for all those months since the beginning of the year. Not bad, right?
So let's take a look at the big picture. On the left, you've got the salary table for the first step, the one that's happening right now in 2024. And on the right, that's the finish line, the final salary table for 2027. Just pick your salary grade and look across from left to right. That's the journey your pay is going to take over the next few years.
Okay, to make this real, let's zoom in on a specific example. Let's take salary grade 11, step 1, a pretty common one. Right now, in 2024, the pay is 27,000 pesos a month. Fast forward to 2027, and that same job will be paying 33,387 pesos. That's a jump of more than 6,000 pesos a month. You can definitely feel that.
Now, for all you folks working in LGUs, there's an extra layer here. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. The amount of your raise actually depends on how much money your city, province, or municipality makes. So a rich first-class city, they'll give you the full 100% of the new rate. But a smaller, sixth-class town with less cash, they'll implement it at 65%. So you gotta know your LGU's class.
But wait, there's more. Seriously. This executive order isn't just about your monthly salary. It's also adding a completely new benefit into the mix. What's this big number on the screen? 7,000 pesos. What's it for? Well, this is that brand new allowance we were just talking about. Starting in 2025, if you're a qualified government employee, you'll get a medical allowance of 7,000 pesos every year. The idea is that this will help you pay for things like your HMO coverage or other health expenses. And just like the salary raise, there are a few exceptions here. If you're already getting HMO benefits because of a special law, or if you work in specific offices that have their own financial independence, then you won't be eligible for this particular allowance.
Okay, that was a lot of information, I know. We've talked about the why, the who, the how much, and even this new allowance. So let's wrap this up by hitting the most important things you need to remember.
So here's the bottom line. Takeaway number 1, your salary is going up in 4 steps, all the way to 2027. 2, that first increase for 2024 is retroactive, so expect some back pay. 3, starting next year, in 2025, most of you will get a new 7,000 peso medical allowance. And finally, the whole point of this is to give your wallet a boost and to show appreciation for your work and public service.
And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. At the end of the day, this isn't just about bigger paychecks, right? It's really an investment in the people who make the country run. So the real question is, how will this new, more competitive pay actually change public service for the better in the long run? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning into this breakdown.